Hey, howdy. Welcome in, everybody. It's dang cold.
It's chilly. 66.
Yeah, it's not 66 here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not even sure it's 66 in here, but welcome in. Let's welcome in the chat because I don't even know if I got to do that properly last night. Maybe I did.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
The quicker the better before everybody else gets here.
There you go. Welcome in, Vicky Gillespie, Stacy Rogers, Nicole. Happy's Haunt. Those were your first three finishers tonight. Congratulations.
Yay!
Mario Memphis, welcome in. Ivy Rebecca, good to see you. Dare Debbie Burnfeld, hello. Hope you're feeling better. And Mara, I hope you get feeling better too. Let's see. We got Stacy and everybody's chit chat. Corby Sinclair, welcome in. Good to see you. Jan S. Disney, hope you're having a good trip.
I got to hang out with you tonight. We'll talk about
I know. You're so lucky.
I know, twice in a row.
Let's see. We scroll on down. Everybody's chit-chatting and catching up. Robert Dixon, welcome in. Good to see you. And there she is, the lovely, the beautiful, the talented. The Daisy Duck to my Donald Duck, the Minnie Mouse to my Mickey Mouse, the Rapunzel to my Flynn, the Jasmine to my Aladdin, the beautiful, the talented Angela Minter. Hello, dear.
Hi.
The real Snickerdoodle. Theo Sam Eagle, welcome. Nathan, good to see you. Scrolling on down. Sparkly Pink Diamonds is here. Welcome in, Angie. Good to see you. Scroll on. Chris Dye, welcome in. Mike 88 NYC, good to see you. Chris S, welcome. My phone's not on vibrate. Jeff Condon, good evening. Welcome in, sir. Let me jump over to the other one. Anne-Marie Dreyer, welcome in, Anne-Marie. Good to see you. And Kay Wilby, hello. I think we got everybody.
Yay.
Samantha Lowe, welcome in, Sam.
Yay. Oh, man.
I did something today, Steve.
What'd you do?
What'd you buy? Dad had a doctor's appointment. Had to do that.
You went to Target.
Yep. I got in.
Got you buy one, get one free.
No, I didn't do that.
Or buy one, get one half off. Oh, okay. Carry on.
Didn't do that.
I guessed up to Target, right? Go ahead.
I decided I was thinking more about my little rant last night about not getting snow and wanting snow. When I had snow.
Yeah.
And so I put in a call today. I called the National Weather Service.
Oh.
And I had my whole talking points planned. I presented my case.
Mm-hmm.
Why South Carolina deserves snow and my area deserves snow, and how wonderful it would be if they could send some our way. And after I finished my presentation, the person that answered the phone said,
"You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir."
Good day, sir. I love that.
So, yeah, no snow for me. So, oh well. It is frigidly cold here, though. I know it's cold in much of the U.S., but since 5 o'clock, the temperature here has dropped 8 degrees. It is now 24 with a feels like 13.
Your temperature dropped 8 degrees since 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Mine's dropped 14.
Well,
it's cold.
Yeah, but you were much higher when you started dropping.
Yeah, it's true. I was.
So I didn't give back the Chris S says you didn't give back the everlasting gobstopper. I did not. No, I kept it. If you're not giving me snow, I'm keeping the gobstopper. So Snickerdoodle says it's 17 with a feels like of 6.
Ew. You can keep that.
And they've still got snow on the ground too.
That just sounds awful.
Robert Dixon says, I'm at 10 with a real deal of 2.
Oh man.
It's nasty out there, y'all. I got my blankie out all on my legs and
Aw, that's
my
cute.
hoodie on, and the new heater's over here struggling, but we're gonna make it. Vicky Gillespie says 6 here minus 5 feels like.
My poor parents, it's so cold up there, which they live in a log cabin. All their water is frozen. They don't have any. They don't even.
Oh,
have water.
geez.
So they got my brother and my sister who live next door to them, both have it, and they
That's no good.
she's going walking over there to get the water and stuff. So
Wow. Mar said, Chris, I have 5 degrees with 5-degree wind chill. We got a warning for brownouts if the power goes out. If the power goes out here, then the stream's going to end very abruptly.
not necessarily.
Well, that's right. That's true. Tonight we are on chapters 7 and 8
Yep.
of our book. Chapter 7 titled The Bluebird of Happiness.
We need to recap though, because we didn't do that last time.
Yes. So recapping from last time.
Only because I never remember. Go ahead.
Aurora had a blue feather that the drunk minstrel gave her.
Ooh, that's right.
From what he said was the outside. But she keeps going around to people and asking them where they think the feather is from, and they keep guessing. But yeah, and then she seems very discontent or bad that she feels ungrateful, and she has a friend who is also her assistant. The Curtis family, welcome in. Good to see you. That keeps telling her how grateful she should be. And then Aurora's supposed to be putting on a concert to lift the people's spirits, because everybody's gloom and depressed inside the castle.
Yes.
T. Marie's place. Hey, Teener.
So she's getting ready. Was it singing? Is that what she's going to do?
Yes, she was going to sing.
Yeah, no matter how much she hated it.
No matter how much she didn't want to be on stage, and yeah, she did. She also there's a boy that looks at her flirtingly at the dance, but she's not interested in the boy. And there's some Count Dooku that she's interested in, but he's older.
Christopher Lee.
Yes. And
much older.
She showed him the feather, and he went all crazy, like shaking her and stuff and causing a scene. So yeah, that's where we're at. And she was getting all prettied up to go to the concert. So did I miss anything?
No.
Okay. So the Bluebird of Happiness is the title. Dooku, the high-heeled guy. Well, I guess. So here we go. The Bluebird of Happiness, chapter 8 of the book. The concert was a rousing success. Aurora sang beautiful. What? Sorry.
So I just said, yeah, it's a
Oh,
rousing
okay.
success. Carry on.
Aurora sang beautiful songs that made people sigh with wonder, sad songs that made people weep for things that were never real. Oh, I forgot, Steve. She found cards in her room somehow. She found cards in her room
That's right, behind the bookshelf.
that fell off her bookshelf, hit her on the head, and there were images, but that she didn't understand because the books, when
Yes.
the terrible thing happened, the books are all mashed up or missing pages and are just gibberish.
Yes.
But these cards were like perfect and solid images. So she was contemplating what the cards were about too. Sorry.
No, that's a very important part.
So
I think.
yes. So let me go back. So Aurora sang beautiful songs that made people sigh with wonder, sad songs that made people weep for things that were never real and almost bawdy, funny songs to bring them back from the brink. When she sang The Raven of the Evercliffs, she looked at Liana. Her handmaid's eyes remained wide and unblinking for the entire song. As a surprise encore, a little servant boy sang a simple country ballad that had everyone clapping and shouting. Aurora held him high in her arms so the whole crowd could see. For one evening at least, everyone was happy again. There was a little bit of hope in the Thorn Castle once more, enough to get them through to the next ball. Even Maleficent seemed cheered. All this strengthened Aurora's new resolve and crystallized her intentions. She came up with a plan. A plan to improve herself, to keep herself busy like Lady Astrid, to make what was left of the world better for those around her, like Liana. The plan was this: each month she would work on one quality she felt she was lacking in until she was a better person. First was gratitude, next was patience, after that was pure thoughts. She made lots of wonderful little lists, chock full of ideas for exercising each deficient part of her psyche. It was much easier than math. One of her first to dos for gratuity was to give a thank you speech at the Gold Ball as a surprise for her aunt. And we thank you, gracious Queen. Aurora held the carefully penned speech in her right hand and moved her left hand across her body, indicating an imaginary crowd. It didn't feel right. She should be gesturing at the queen, not the audience. Or maybe if she just emphasized the we. We thank you, gracious queen, for our safety, our health, our well being, our very lives. Without your foresight and kindness, we would be as dead as the world around us, as extinct as the rabbits. She faltered on that word. She tried not to think about the playing cards with the tender brown furred thing lifting its nose to the golden haired girl who resembled her so closely. She tried not to think about what the animal would have looked like in real life, whether it was really that friendly, if its fur was soft, if its nose twitched or stayed still. Extinct as the rabbits, she began again, taking a breath for. A movement flickered at the edge of her vision as at the base of her desk, next to one of the long legs that ended ironically in paws, there of course was a rabbit. Somehow she had known what it was before she even made herself look at it. And now that she had, she felt her heart beating out of control, her breath catching in her throat. It looked both exactly and not at all like the picture. Its eyes were brown, large, glistening. and mostly empty. It leaned forward hesitantly to sniff the leg of the desk. Putting its whiskers and silly long ears back, it turned its head to look directly at Aurora. It had no tail, only a stupidly endearing puff of white at its rear end. You're not real, Aurora said hopefully and doubtingly. You're extinct. The rabbit cocked its head and turned its ear like a windmill. If she hadn't known better, she would have thought its face showed the animal equivalent of a smile. Oh, she wanted to touch it. She wanted to bend down and put her hand out, the way she did to the few baby goats and sheep that were born in the castle each year. She wanted to be the girl in the picture and have it breathe its warm, moist breath on the palm of her hand. She thought of Maleficent's words about the outside finding unexpected ways into the castle, about the implication that she was weaker than most in this respect because of her parents, because of her tainted evil blood. Aurora closed her eyes. You're not real. When she opened them, the rabbit was gone. What she felt then had nothing to do with relief or thankfulness. It was if all of her little stores of energy and of hope, of happiness, were now suddenly being forcibly drained from her and into the floor. She let the speech drop in a sad flutter and lay down on her bed, too empty to do anything else. Liana was starting to worry about Aurora. She even tried to manage a tryst between the princess and Kale. Difficult because she couldn't read the notes she sent, because he couldn't read the notes she sent. Aurora just didn't care that much. The stable boy would always be there. He would be there next month if she cared by then. And so would the ball. And so would the musicians and the food. And then there would be another month. Besides, stable boys are no fit match for a royal princess, she said aloud, imitating Maleficent's voice and dramatic speech. She sat alone at her desk, playing with her tiny pile of illicit treasures, the three cards that she had managed to keep, the blue feather, instead of working on math or her lists. They're all dirty and work with animals and live outside. And she stopped, and it wasn't to wonder, as she occasionally did, who would be a fit match, since all princes in the world were dead. No, it was a murky, intriguing thought involving stable boys and animals. She picked up the feather regarding it. Lady Astrid was right. She couldn't talk to anyone about it inside the castle. The old lady had said it very specifically and carefully. The stable boy was not inside the castle. He lived in the stable, in the bailey, and he knew something about animals, birds maybe. This was an interesting idea, an idea that actually involved doing something, an action of some sort, which was where things usually fell apart for Aurora. Actions were tiring. She mostly found it better to lie on her bed and think about actions. Just the thought of getting up these days seemed exhausting and unreasonable. Sometimes she had to surprise her body into doing something. So without thinking, she leapt off of the bed and fastened her chatelaine to her girdle. She hurried to find Liana before she could find some reason to change her own mind. The handmaiden was sitting in front of a woodless magical fire, just staring into it, warming her hands. Which would have been odd if Aurora didn't know that she came from a hot country. I think I'd like to have a word with the stable boy after all, Aurora said. wasn't a lie, but she still felt guilty when the usually impassive Liana leapt up immediately, joy and mischief in her big black eyes. We will go out through the kitchen, the summer kitchen, she said, clasping the princess's hands in her own. Come, when we get down to the outer courtyard, I will run ahead and prepare the way. We will say you are just visiting the animals, as you love to do. The two girls hurried through the passageways, hand in hand. When a stolid looking matron of the lesser nobility rounded a corner, the girls immediately slowed down to a more decorous pace, nodding serenely at the woman. As soon as she was out of sight, they raced ahead again. Wait here. I'll wave for you. I'll wave to you from the dairy window when it's safe, Liana said at the door before the courtyard. She started to open it, then stopped and turned, suddenly seized with conscience. Whatever you do, do not do anything that would shame yourself. He is just a stable boy. Aurora smiled. I plan on just talking. Thank you for your concern, though. She squeezed Leona's arm. You are such a good friend. The girl cocked her head at Aurora with an unreadable expression. The princess could not help being reminded of the imaginary rabbit she had seen. Then Liana was off through the dark greenish black murk of the courtyard. It wasn't long before her head popped up across the way. She waved her hand frantically like a little child. Aurora waved back and stepped through the door. She didn't like leaving the castle. Only the prospect of petting animals could draw her out. Despite her longing for sun and sky and freedom, she felt safer under mountains of cold gray rock. Inside, you could almost forget there was an outside, that anything that happened to the outside. In the courtyards and Bailey, there were no possibility of forgetting. Giant black and green vines, some as wide as a man was tall, arched up overhead from beyond the castle walls. They twined and joined and wove themselves in strangely nauseating patterns. Humongous thorns, some the size of swords, collapsed and gouged and held the vines together. The plant's skin puckered where they were pierced, almost like it was painful. A few thin, unhealthy looking leaves decorated the undersides of the largest branches as if they were merely an afterthought of the monstrous plants. The whole bailey and all of the courtyards were bathed in a perpetual twilight. On good days, it was shot through by narrow beams of sun, but even those seemed sickly by the time they reached the ground. The peasants had managed to arrange long, thin, unhappy looking gardens that traced along the route of the feeble light that made its way through. Aurora hurried as daintily as she could, trying not to close her eyes. She wrapped her shawl tightly around her. One peasant had been killed by a falling thorn. As soon as she was under the overhang of the stable, at one time necessary when clean rain fell freely from the sky, she breathed deeply. Royal princesses were not supposed to show fear, but only when she was under the cover of real shadow from solid dead wood and stone walls and enveloped with moisture from cool, dark interiors and the breath of animals within did she feel safe. Once recovered, she turned to pet the nag Fala, who was old when the world was destroyed. Even the stoniest hearted peasant wouldn't think of putting her down now. Aurora kissed the horse's warm nose and stroked the muzzle below her blind eyes. Then slowly, as if it was something she was just attending to, she went into the stable itself. It smelled strongly of strange, magicked hay, of horse and cow dung, of leather and oils and humans who didn't bathe as often as royal princesses. She didn't mind. Your Highness, Kale came forward out of the gloom, no longer wearing his borrowed finery. In a loose tunic and carefully bound up ancient leggings, he still cut just as handsome a figure. In his own territory, he certainly had more swagger and braggadocio, I think. Kale, Aurora said, tipping her chin gently. If it was an actual illegal, unsanctioned tryst, what would come next? What would it end with him trying to kiss her? Would she pull him into a clean pile of hay as she had heard some of the serving girls whisper about? Oh my. How may I be of service? He asked, a twinkle in his eye. It's not the best weather for a ride around the kingdom today, I'm afraid. What with the monsters and demons and everything beyond dead and all. Yes, I'm aware of the present circumstances of the world we live in. I came to ask you a question. What is this? She took the feather out of the silver pouch on her chatelaine and held it up. Why, it's a feather, your highness. Kel started to joke, then he stopped, suddenly peering at it harder. He took it from her without asking. Aurora saw the intrigued look in his eyes. Well, smack my flanks. It's a bluebird feather. Where did you get it? How do you know it's from a bluebird? She asked, ignoring the question. I'm a few seasons older than you, he said, touching his forelock in a sort of salute. I don't know. I'm just reading the words.
What kind of story is this?
My memories are still cloudy, like all of us. But when I was a babe, I remember being left outside on my own with my siblings, supposing to care for me. A hill of bread for my lunch. Birds would come peck at my crumbs, sparrows and others, and even a couple of these fellows, as blue as the sky on a winter's day. Aurora listened to his story with wonder, imagining having birds as playmates. May I ask where you got this, your highness? It doesn't look like it's from a hat or a pin or a cloak. It's too small and not crushed at all. I don't think I can reveal that, she said slowly, taking it back. Oh, hey, the stable boy said slowly. But if it's from outside, Aurora looked at him sharply. Begging your pardon, the boy mumbled, looking down, suddenly seeming years younger. It would just be a miracle, a godsend, to know that there's still bluebirds out there. Aurora felt herself melt. Here she was feeling caged and useless, a princess who spent her whole life inside castle walls. And there he was, one of the many who had lived most of their lives outside, those who knew what they were missing, even if they couldn't precisely remember it, who had in some ways lost far more than she had. She reached out and clasped his hand. He looked at her surprised. Oh my, on my honor, as soon as I work out this little mystery, I shall let you in on it, she promised. As soon as I hear word about the safety of going outside, I will let you know myself. Thank you, your highness, he stammered. He offered her a spontaneous, jerky bow. Good day, Kale, she said with a royal nod of her head. Good day to you, your highness, he said solemnly back. You're as wise and kind as you are beautiful. The glow that rose up from her cheeks warmed her on the walk back to the castle. He might not have been her favorite boy in the castle, but he was a boy, and it felt nice. A strange, quick hissing noise caused her to look up. Liana was standing, otherwise motionless, near the door of the summer kitchen, a basket over one arm as if she had been intending to do something useful. Two bothersome, gossipy girls stood with her, none other than Mistress Laura herself and her chaperone, the only slightly older Lady Malder. Neither had seen the princess yet. Liana shook her head very slightly. Aurora could not return to the castle that way. The princess bit her lip and quickly dashed to the stone wall, pressing herself up against it as closely as she dared without ruining her dress. The next entrance was all the way around the side, where the chambermaids went to empty the pots and the cooks tossed the offal. It stank, but no one would see her there. She hurried as carefully as she could, holding the train of her dress high out of the dust. As she rounded the corner, she saw one of Maleficent's servants nosing around the door. Off duty? Did they even go off duty? It was on its knees and hands, snuffling in the midden like an animal. Aurora had to turn her head when it found a length of entrails and worried it out of the pile, stretching it out until the tube of flesh snapped. Holding her nose and gagging, she slipped past it. The last entrance was unlikely to be guarded was a once upon a time secret passage for quick escape in case of invasion. Almost everyone knew about it now. There were few secrets left in the remaining population, but it was rarely used because the stairs were slick and the tunnels dark and damp, and they led right past the chamber where King Stefan and Queen Leah were imprisoned. The princess pulled aside what looked like a set of heavy rain barrels and stepped reluctantly into the dripping hole they revealed. She descended slowly, almost slipping twice on the first few feet and jarring her head badly. She cursed, using a word that she had heard Kel use once, and found it did make her feel a little better. The way ahead was pitch black, but there was no way she could get lost. There was only one way to go. And she kept telling herself this as she moved slowly along, a hand on each slimy wall to steady herself. She tried to distract herself with the important things she had just learned, that the feather was from a bluebird, a bird that only existed on the outside, an outside that was supposed to be a wasteland devoid of all but the most nauseous and evil life, an outside that the minstrel had apparently escaped to and returned from, not entirely worse for the wear. But was there still a possibility that he was just drunk and mad, that he had simply found a feather somewhere and concocted this crazy story? Well, then life would go on as it had. But if he really had been outside and things did live there, the princess picked up the hem of her skirt as she stepped delicately over a pool of muck. There was a little light now that reached her from the flickering torches in the dungeon proper. She slunk against the far wall to the stairs on the other side, unwilling to see or be seen by the prisoners. And then she heard voices, her aunt's voice, and her parents? She slowed down and pressed herself against the cool black wall to listen and watch. Oh, enough already, Maleficent said with a tired, though dramatic, wave of her arms. There's no way out. You will eventually die, and I shall live again. But our daughter, the queen said, coming forward and holding the bars. It almost sounded like she cared. Your daughter? Maleficent asked, with her voice rising in dramatic surprise. Really? What kind of loving mother hands her daughter off to the fairies for 16 years? Aurora frowned. That was wrong. She was to be given to the fairies on her 16th year, not for 16 years. It was it was to protect her that King Stefan protested. Really? Maleficent swung around, arching her arms and fingers like an animal, lowering her yellow eyes to their level. You couldn't think of any other way to protect your daughter. Better guards, higher walls, runes and spells inside the castle? Really? Let me tell you something, dearies. She lowered her voice and spoke with a hiss through lips that barely moved. You may think I'm more evil than any demon who ever walked this earth, and you may be right. But if I ever had a daughter, you can be sure I would keep her close and teach her well, and school her in the arts of magic, and make her strong and powerful enough to protect herself. And I would never let anything come between us. Aurora felt something strange inside her. Maleficent was never this uncontrolled, this furious. Her words rang somehow truer now than in all of her carefully composed dramatic speech. Or, Maleficent recovered herself. She straightened back up to her full height and adjusted her cloak. Or admit the truth to yourselves. It didn't matter much either way, because in the end, you really would have preferred a son. And with that, she spun and strode out of the dungeon. Aurora was so confused she didn't bother trying to hide herself. Her aunt almost tripped over her. Aurora, she said in her normal voice, faintly surprised. What are you doing here? I was playing a game of hide and seek with some of the servant children, she stammered. She had never lied to Maleficent before, but overhearing that conversation had unnerved her. Oh, her aunt said, accepting her explanation, but still confused. That's rather gracious of you, my dear. I would encourage them to hide. I wouldn't encourage them to hide down here, however, lest they can come under the evil spell of your parents. Or the minstrel, Aurora added quickly, relieved her lie was taken up so quickly. The minstrel? He's not down here. But he's not in the stockade, so I assumed. Oh, Maleficent's face fell into a mask of sadness. He's gone, darling. Apparently, the poor drunken fool actually did make it outside somehow. I thought it was just his usual drunken ramblings. What? She just barely caught herself from adding, so it's true. Maleficent regarded her with intelligent, unreadable eyes. Outside and back in over a month ago. I just found out the truth of it myself. I have no idea how he did it. There's a hole in the security somewhere. I must recast my spells and protections. Who knows what he could have brought in with him? Where is he now? Aurora breathed, thinking about her feather. Back outside, where he so desperately wanted to be, for good this time. I didn't stop him. Aurora felt like throwing up. Her head hurt. She had the feather. Should she tell her aunt? Tears sprung from her eyes. Maleficent misunderstood, reaching out to pat her on the shoulder. Darling, don't ever don't overmourn. His time wasn't long here anyway, the way he was living. But, and this is important, you must never talk about this with anyone. People get funny, wrong ideas. There is nothing outside, nothing that will keep you alive for long. We don't want anyone starting rumors. She pulled her cloak around her and started to go. Aunt, Aurora began, not sure what she was going to say. An admission of everything, something about the minstrel, something about a feather, questions about the outside, but that's not what came out. What if I could do it? What if I could learn magic? Would you teach me your powers? Would you raise me to be like you? And we could rule the world together and maybe make it back to like it was once before my parents destroyed it together. Maleficent blinked at her once with her slow yellow eyes. For perhaps the first time ever, an ironic remark, a dramatic observation, a meaningless quip didn't form on her lips. She seemed uncomfortable thinking about the question and twitched her shoulders. But you can't, she said finally. You're just not capable, dear. And she swept up the stairs, her cape trailing out majestically behind her. Aurora sank down on the cold stones. She didn't go down to confront her parents. She didn't go up. She stayed in the comforting darkness and wept over things she couldn't even name.
Ooh. Dancing while the world burns. Is that what you see?
That's what I see.
Here we go. The morning of the gold ball, Aurora was in bed as usual. With the minstrel gone, there was no way she could find out the truth of the matter. Either he was dead or he was free of the castle, living with flocks of mutant bluebirds or whatever, and in neither case would he be coming back. She flipped warily through the blank pages of one of her books. The back of her mind was playing with the idea of wishing for images to appear, of wishing for the darkness from the outside to come in. Could it be any worse than living in the castle with the same people for the rest of her life? Worse than blank books and hateful parents? Worse than being confronted every day by your own stupidity? So stupid, even your own aunt patronizes you? She imagined the one brief, glorious moment of false paradise the outside world bring. Birds and trees and bunnies and other animals everywhere, flooding the castle halls, singing and purring and leaping in people's laps. And then it all exploding in one final rapturous apocalypse as the monsters came in and everyone died. What kind of thought is that? She sighed, turning over in her bed. She knew exactly how ridiculous she was being. As a princess, a living princess at the end of the world, she was far luckier than those who had died, and her life was far better than the lives of most of the people who remained. With great effort, she pushed herself up until she was at least sitting on the edge of the bed. Her head felt weary with all the terrible thoughts weighing it down. She felt sick, and that idea appealed to her very much, of crawling back into bed and sleeping and having Liana wait on her and then go away. Sparkles appeared. Where's she at? Sparkles appeared at the corner of her vision. She was both relieved and scared. She was really sick, about to faint even. But the sparkles weren't golden or silver as they were normally when she felt lightheaded. They were red, green, and blue. They coalesced into three distinct balls of color instead of dissipating when she took a few deep breaths. The little balls danced around the room and in a manner that suggested intelligence, as if they were investigating the cracks, the crevices, the nooks, and the crannies, like they were looking for someone or something that might be hiding. As Aurora crawled back onto her bed away from them, she noticed detachedly that when they came close to a solid object, their pale lights illuminated it and cast its shadow, like real lights, not hallucinations. Finally, the three balls must have decided it was safe to group together, hovering right in front of Aurora. She blinked, her eyes taking a moment to get used to the brightness being so close. As soon as she could see properly again, Aurora realized that there were things in the center of the lights, little living things, things that looked suspiciously like tiny women, one in each light. "Oh dear," Aurora said aloud, trying to steady herself. The first thing spoke. Its voice was too high-pitched and tiny to hear. Aurora shook her head and pointed at her ear. The balls bobbled a bit, and then suddenly puffed up in size. Now Aurora was faced with three, still smallish, flying ladies engulfed in light. The princess began to panic. These were the fairies. That was startling enough. There were no fairies left except for Maleficent, and certainly not any good ones. But far more importantly, there was something terribly familiar about them, something her body immediately recognized, but her mind didn't. She was overwhelmed with an urge to put out her hand and have them lay on it, to try and hug them. Why? This is not the world in which you are supposed to reside, the green one said. The voice was still very high-pitched, but Aurora could just make it out this time. The blue one rolled her eyes. You are running out of time. Years and hours are tangled, it's true, but both go fast. If you want to save yourself and those you love, you need to figure out how to get out of all of this. Wake up, you don't belong there, or be here. The third one, the red lit one, piped up. Wake up already, do something. I see where this is going now. There were footsteps in the hall, Liana's strange syncopated gait. No, wait, just a moment. Aurora was torn between panic and frustration. Time for your bath. Her friend appeared at the door holding a towel and a brush. The fairies were simply gone, like they had never been there at all. The princess succumbed to her bath thoughtfully. She had accidentally wished, and something had happened. Aurora was glorious in her golden gown. Without a trace of envy, Liana declared it was the most beautiful and the princess had looked yet. Somehow, the seamstress had managed to create a dress several perfect shades lighter than her hair, and it sparkled when she moved. With her tresses up in intricate loops of braids with a golden diadem on top, the royal princess was an image of the sun itself. Her tippet and skirts raised that just touched the earth. Probably no one could quite remember the sun. Aurora gave her speech of gratitude and thanks to her aunt with versimilar emotion, and by the end of it, she actually felt the way she had when she first wrote it. The queen wore golden horns that night in deference to the theme. She kept her eyes modestly lowered during the speech and then thanked her ward warmly when it was over. The crowds cheered. Everyone seemed a little wilder that night. Dancers danced faster and harder. The musicians played like the devil was after them now and that their leader was truly gone. Laughter was far too loud and the drinking far too copious. Time it may finally have taken a toll on the survivors in the castle. Aurora watched it all distractedly from her usual spot next to Maleficent's throne, but she wasn't really paying attention. What if the fairies were actually evil demons from the outside trying to get in? What if they had discovered her mind was weak, like the drunken minstrels? A perfect pliable vessel on which to work their evil influence. Wasn't she just thinking about how great it would be if everyone died before the fairies arrived? What sort of person even thought those kinds of things? Who imagined opening a door and letting death in? A new idea interrupted this familiar spiral of thoughts she had been torturing herself with. What if she wasn't the only person these visions appeared to? What if there were other minds in the castle, as weak and diseased as her own, prone to self-destructive thoughts, gateways of evil, like the minstrel? Aurora looked back and forth and over the golden-hued crown, searching for something, some sign of a weak or evil mind. Nothing immediately revealed itself. The laughter may have been borderline hysterical, but that could not have been relief. But that could have been relief that things were back to normal. If they questioned the source of their magical banquet, the gilded quail eggs and golden soups, they were at least eating it. If the musicians sorely felt the absence of the minstrel, still they played in key for the twirling golden dancers. There wasn't an off note anywhere, actual or metaphorical. Why aren't you dancing? Maleficent asked. She clasped a golden goblet that held some thick black wine. Her eyes were shadowed and her movements were slow. She would be her old self again in just a few hours. Aurora bit her lip. She was almost overwhelmed with a drowning sense of deja vu. She had done this before, at least once. She would do it again at the next dance probably, and then again and again and again. Panic was building in her head, and she wasn't sure what to do with it. Go, her aunt said, flicking her wrist imperiously, shooing her away. Aurora nodded and obediently trotted off, glad to have an order to follow and give her body something to do. But her mind wasn't on the dance. It was on the fairies and traders and what the outside really looked like. It was on what had happened to the minstrel and the feather and her aunt. Her feet were merely going through the motions with no joy. No one noticed, however, the princess's innate grace and skill and beauty and poise made her the most beautiful dancer in the room without her even having to try. Golden torches were reflected 1,000 times in the soft golden folds of her dress. Her golden shoes sparkled like candle flames. Count Brodeur avoided her like the plague, not even looking at her face when they twirled around each other in the middle of a set. In the middle of an endless chain dance, Aurora saw Maleficent get up quietly and slip away from the throne, out of the room. Maybe it was a good time to take a break, get a mug of cider, clear her head. Over by the punch bowls, Lady Astrid had a grim smile on her face and a flagon in her hand and was nodding at something the much older Countess de Chabille was shouting in her ear. Just a week or whatever ago, the princess wouldn't even give a second thought to either one of them. She would have danced, flirted politely with the cuter boys and men, and done anything she could to impress her aunt. But now, Lady Astrid seemed like a breath of fresh air in the tightly locked castle in Aurora's own head. At the very least, the lady deserved to hear the truth about what had happened with the minstrel and where the father had come from. And then two of Maleficent's servants came up to the lady. The coxcomb one and the doggish one, very obviously flanking her. They spoke tersely and gestured with their spears. The lady looked confused. Aurora apologized to her partners, disentangled herself from the other dancers, and made her way over as quickly as she could. But by the time she had gotten there, all three were gone. No one else seemed to have noticed. Countess de Chabille stood still, nodding to herself, humming quietly. "Did you see where Lady Astrid went?" Aurora asked carefully and loudly, knowing the woman was mostly deaf. "Very courteous and nice woman," the Countess shouted back. "She checks in on me every day, to make sure that I am all right." "Where did she go?" Aurora repeated, trying not to be rude. "All over. I think she and her husband like to travel, not me." The princess couldn't stop one huff of disappointment, but she forced herself to nod courteously before rushing off to the closet stairs. Where were Maleficent's guards taking Lady Astrid, and why? Maybe there was something wrong with one of the residents of the castle. Lady Astrid was the closest thing the nobles had to a nurse. Excuse me. But as Aurora looked all over, running through the castle halls and ducking into every likely place and finding nothing, she began to suspect that it wasn't for so noble a cause. With a sickening twist of her stomach, she thought about the feather, of her ill-advised revelation to Brodeur, and then Lady Astrid, and the implications of where the feather had come from. The minstrel was gone. Count Brodeur was on edge. Astrid herself said the whole matter was dangerous, and now the lady had been whisked away by royal guards. Praying she was wrong, Aurora hurried up the last flight of stairs, the one that had originally led to her father's solarium, which Maleficent had claimed as her own chambers. She chose it out of respect for Aurora, not wanting to appear to replace her parents entirely, especially in their own bedroom. Plus, it was a little removed from everyone else and in a tower, just the sort of thing a fairy queen would like. Aurora paused just outside the door and took a deep breath. She moved to go in, and then stopped. Whatever she had expected to see, Maleficent taking with her guards, Maleficent chastising or questioning Lady Astrid, Maleficent standing in front of her large mirror adjusting her outfit, none of it was what was actually happening in the room. Lady Astrid was in there with Maleficent, gagged and tied up. The rope cut into her flesh and made her gold dress balloon in ridiculous folds between the cords. She was only upright because she was held that way by the two guards. Astrid's face, pale and sweaty, strained her gag and her golden white wimple. "An excellent choice, my pets," Maleficent was saying with a throaty laugh. She looked like she wanted to stroke one of the horrible guards, but pulled her hand back at the last moment and clasped it into a fist. "The lady is certainly robust. True royalty would be the best. Their blood would be the strongest. A pity about the exile being gone. That was a mistake, but she will serve for now." The queen reached deep into her cloaks. She pulled out a strange ripple-bladed black stone dagger that looked sharp but awkward. But before Aurora could even guess what it was for, Maleficent plunged it deep into Astrid's chest. The movement was swift and yet unending. The queen had to jiggle it back and forth to get all of its sinuous bends into the woman's flesh. Astrid screamed, or tried to, the muffled cries surrounding wet and useless behind her gag. The guards holding her whistled and hooted with glee. With a determined set of her jaw, Maleficent wrenched the dagger out. The fountain of blood streamed from the poor woman's chest, too purely, too neatly to seem possible, considering the jagged imprecision of the wound. Aurora ground her knuckles into her mouth to keep from screaming. Maleficent chanted, "Magic of the darkest power, grant me this, but one more hour. I give thee blood for one who sleeps, my body dead, but my spirit keeps. Alive in her thoughts and dreams, though to her this world seems as real as the waking one, I will live again, my will be done." Almost delicately, like she was watering a fragile flower, Maleficent took her staff and held the crystal orb at its tip into the stream of blood. The world blurred. The orb was a hole in the air itself, and the blood bent and gushed into it, pulled into its vortex. Somehow it passed through the wall and filled the glassy vessel, churning and frothing redly. When it was full, the queen pulled her staff back and gave it a dramatic twirl. The blood inside glowed and bubbled furiously. Then it changed, losing its redness and becoming the familiar bright, glowing green of Maleficent's magic. The queen sighed, shifting her shoulders and stretching out her arms as if she had just woken from a long, restful sleep or come out of a hot bath. The shadows under her eyes were gone. Her skin looked fresher, plumper, but she didn't look entirely happy. It wasn't enough. It's taking more and more blood from those idiot nobles to sustain me for fewer and fewer minutes. Lady Astrid was apparently already forgotten. The two monsters let her fall forward, blood pumped out of her in ragged spurts directly onto the floor. Blood moistened her gag as well and began to collect in large, heavy drops on her chin. Aurora found herself praying that the lady was dead. There was something about the way the guards couldn't keep their eyes on their mistress, but let them slip to the pale body they now held. Their tongues hung out of their mouths, and they slavered hungrily. Maleficent moved her staff in a circle. "Spirits of evil, open the window to that another realm," she commanded. The orb traced a silvery outline in the air that shimmered and shivered. The view through it was the same room, but distorted, or less distorted. The details in the image were somehow more distinct than reality. The colors more complicated. It was both uglier and more fascinating than the real room, but that wasn't what caused Aurora to gasp. In that other room, through the shimmering window, the queen's bed wasn't empty. Aurora herself slept in it. The princess fell against the castle wall. It wasn't like looking at a statue or a painting of herself. It really was her. She knew it. She knew there would be a teeny tiny freckle on the inside of the left pinky finger. She could feel the way her belly flattened out when she lay on her back. She knew her own breathing, which the other Aurora wasn't really doing. She who sleeps, Aurora was the one who slept. Is that really necessary? So it's going back and forth between and counting. She who sleeps, Aurora was the one who slept. Though to her this world seems as real as the waking one, this wasn't real. The whole world wasn't real. As soon as she thought it, she knew it was true, felt it was true. Over there in that complicated, ugly world, that was reality. This was all a dream. Aurora felt like fainting, just letting go, letting whatever insanity that made up the world continue on without her. Maleficent looked at Aurora's bed thoughtfully. "All I need to do is hold on for a little longer," she murmured, "until the clock chimes 12 and her 16th birthday is over." She regarded the blonde hair, the petite frame, the delicate feet, the pixie nose of the sleeper. "I suppose her body will have to do until I can find a better one," she added with an only slightly disappointed shrug. "But I will have an entire kingdom at my disposal at that point. Do not faint." A tiny voice, a tiny glimmer of a voice, insisted annoyingly in Aurora's mind, but it was her own voice from inside her head, not a hallucination or a visit from an outside fairy. Passing out would not solve anything. This was all very real. It was happening. It would not go away. She would have to deal with thinking about and processing it and weeping over it and all of the real ramifications later. Right now, she had to run. Excuse me. Your Majesty, Princess Aurora is. Liana had been hurrying up the stairs, but stopped when she saw Aurora in the shadows. The two girls regarded each other. Then Aurora's eyes drifted from the other girl's face to her feet. Liana had picked up the skirt of her dress, to run quickly up the stairs, just as the princess had. But where Aurora had golden shoes, Liana had trotters, splayed, ugly, fleshy trotters, which was why she always walked so oddly, Aurora realized. It wasn't a foreign habit. She was one of Maleficent's creatures. Your Highness, Liana whispered, oh, I guess that's not whispering. Your Highness, Liana whispered, addressing the princess this time. Somehow, this spurred Aurora into action. She swept past the other girl, quickly down the stairs, slamming her shoulder into her as she went. Traitor, she hissed, almost like her aunt. Where could she go? Her first urge was her bedroom. Safe, lonely, comfortable bed. That was dumb. Her second thought was to hide under her bed, like a little child, which was also dumb. Her third thought was a broom closet, which, with the entire castle of monstrous guards and a powerful fairy queen after her, was also dumb. She stood for a moment, frozen, terrified. There was no place to go. There was only one place to go: outside. She moved like she was diving, lunging toward the back entrance, where just days ago she had gone to met Kale. Aurora didn't have the time or energy to be terrified of the dark green dome of vines overhead. She just made straight across to the outer defenses of the keep. One lone old crone marked the princess's presence with a vaguely curiously raised eyebrow as she emptied a water skin over her parched plot of beans. Golden ball or not, things died without help in this world. The princess dashed into the nearest tower and into the outer wall. Even through the heavy stones, she was sure she could start to hear movement. An alarm raised once it was realized she had fled. Up, 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 she climbed the staircases she had played on as a child, free to roam the castle at will like a rat. Her dress kept tangling with her legs despite her nimbleness and grace. She paused just long enough to rip the train off. She felt a twinge of sorrow for the woman who sewed the cloth, the old woman who wove it. But her legs were now free, and she could take the steps several at a time. She doubled her speed past the floor with barracks. Not all the human guards had gone to the ball. People still had to patrol, despite the safety of the thorny barrier. They looked up at her from benches where they were sharpening their swords and polishing their helms. Perhaps they were not as surprising as guards might have been in other castles, and other times with princesses who stayed nicely in their rooms and chapels and gardens. Aurora paused at the top of the tower and looked around wildly. Her goal was Barbican. Her goal was the Barbican, the main entrance to the castle with the portcullis and the drawbridge. It was the point that stuck out farthest from the keep and leaned farthest into the vines. But the passage to it from where she had emerged was a terribly exposed length to run. The tall crenellations on the right of the stone walk were meant to protect guards from invading forces. There was nothing on the left but a low wall. Who would attack a castle from within? In the courtyard below, a half-dozen misshapen figures tumbled together out of the castle, armed with bows and slings. They had a perfect view of her. There she is. One pointed an arm that terminated in a single terrifying hook-like claw. Aurora ducked and ran. Maleficent appeared at an arched window in the castle, fury informing her every gesture. Guards, seize the princess, she cried. She means to do herself harm. But at the same time, she raised her staff and began to mutter an incantation. The princess wheeled her feet to move faster. She narrowed her vision to the path before her, the ancient rocks that slipped by on either side of her. The Barbican was once a place of extreme security, with murder holes for dropping boiling oils on the heads of invaders, but it had been more or less abandoned since the world had ended. The giant gate was sealed in place. There was no cause to raise it, ever. The platform on top was now just used as a private escape for castle teens and drunken servants. Aurora hadn't expected to find anyone there. To her dismay, the shiny helms of guards began to pop out of the narrow entrance to the stairs like moles. Your Highness, one called, immediately leaping to grab her. Up here, the vines were distressingly close. They laced together just a man's height above her head, before bending over and shooting straight down 100 feet, where the thick trunks made a living wall just outside the castle's stone ones. The moat was gone, the water sucked up by their greedy, unlikely growth. The foul dust of their aging and shifting lay brownly over everything. It smelled unwholesome. Aurora looked around wildly, unable to believe she was about to do what she thought she was about to do. Unable to believe she was about to do what she was about to do. A guard lunged for her. She leapt. Aurora fell harder than she thought she would and landed on a thick branch. She coughed and gasped, the breath knocked out of her. Her ribs were bruised and her stomach hurt, but that was all. Now that she was within the tangled world of the plants, it would be a piece of cake climbing down from the one closely entwined vine to another. The guards continued to shout from somewhere above her. "My lady, after her! Queen Maleficent, what do we do?" With a grin, she wasn't sure what she had. Aurora began her descent. And then the vines began to move. Not the oldest, thickest trunks, small whippets of young vines, curly-cued like a cucumber's tendrils. They shot around her legs and arms and pulled. "No!" Aurora cried out, frustrated with the world. She shook and pulled and kicked. The greenery snapped away as easy as bean sprouts. The princess was taken aback by her own ferocity and its accomplishments. She really hadn't expected to be so easy. A little less cocky, but more resolute, Aurora moved more quickly downward. Then thorns grew much faster than they were supposed to, erupting wide and thick and unseemingly in the way. They pushed through the skin of the vines and each other. They pierced Aurora's flesh, sharp as needles. Everywhere she tried to place her hands, they sprung up. Very quickly, she was covered in cuts and punctures and rivulets of blood. Also, they screamed. They screamed as they forced their way through their own stalks and into one another. They screamed into light when they pricked her. They grew strange faces, long and lined like old men's, but when they managed to speak, they sounded like Maleficent. "Go back. There is nothing for you out here. Return to the castle." Aurora bit her lip and tried not to sob. She couldn't move for the sharp thorns everywhere. "Go away," she shouted in rage and bitterness. "I wish you would just disappear." The thorns receded, melting like lumps of sugar in hot tea. Aurora blinked. She wanted to think about what had just happened, but she had to move quickly before Maleficent attacked again. Throwing herself with almost careless abandon, she plummeted down, bouncing from branch to branch like a pebble tossed down a steep well. She hit the dark ground with a sickening hardness. Her head was snapped back and jarred so badly that everything went blurry. It didn't help that the air was thick and dusty in a permanent twilight. But there, some distance away from the castle, just barely visible through the interlaced vines, she could see a faint flicker of yellow light. Golden and bloody, Aurora straightened her shoulders and walked towards sunshine. Interesting. We have our first murder. What do you think? You're muted.
That was a turn I was not expecting.
That was different.
Welcome in everybody that
Hello.
came in here, and Raga and Monorail Molly and Wishpond Disney, Susan Silva, Dave Bacco. Good to see everybody.
Hello.
So she is asleep.
I gathered that earlier in your chapter or my chapter, whatever.
Yeah.
So what she is she's trapped in a story while she sleeps that they need to get to midnight so that she doesn't ever wake up and Maleficent can become pure living again, because Maleficent is apparently demonish. Is that? I don't know.
Sounds like it. Hey, Wendy B. Good to see you.
Hello.
That's yeah. So it's getting better, Steve. It's starting to make more sense.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. And we're not even really close. I mean, to the middle or the end of this, and it seemed everything just started happening all of a sudden. It seems like so.
Yep, for sure.
Now the interesting thing with this book is there's interludes. All
Yes, I
throughout
was just looking with the interlude, and if we could cover about the same number of pages with the interlude in a chapter and then 2 more chapters. So we could both read 2 if you count the interludes as a chapter.
Yeah.
The interlude's kind of short, and what would be my last chapter is only 4 pages. So it'll be like 20 pages for you and 16 for me next week. So
next week we'll do the interlude, the inevitable forest primeval.
Yep.
And then Enter the Prince, and Once Upon a Time as it really was, as told by the prince.
So that's where we lay, kids.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, this one's getting better.
I have a feeling we're gonna like them all. It's just trying to figure out where they're going with it at the beginning.
Yeah.
The really weird part, this is only our second one. The first one was so perfect. You started where you knew, they told the story we knew, it changed where it said it was going to change, and we got a whole different story. This one started up here, went back here, came back to here, and then it's just different.
Yeah.
So
interesting, and I don't mind if they're divergent.
Oh yeah,
unlike Aladdin,
as long as they have a good finish, as long as they wrap up.
Yeah. This one was just very confusing. I feel like for the first 2 or 3 chapters.
Yeah,
very confusing. Steve cannot handle the multiverse. That's true.
Huh. I can handle it. I just don't like it.
So, yeah, that was a very the scene that I read where she runs into Maleficent's interacting with the parents.
Yep.
I think was where it first kind of started seeming like all was not what it was supposed to be.
Well, and from the very beginning where they started talking about her guards and the thorns, like I'm talking about the very beginning of the story.
Yeah.
It almost, I think we could tell Maleficent was imprisoning her in some way.
Somehow.
Not in her mind, but like this was Maleficent's doing. So.
Yeah. Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, Wendy. Debbie said, "I hope it keeps like going back and forth from past to present, kinda, and now we're dealing with 2 different realms: the real and the dream."
Yeah, I think it started that way. It started in one, went to the other, but it came back pretty quickly, and I don't think we've really left where we're at since the first night. It's all in the same. It's all while she's sleeping,
right?
And Maleficent has till the stroke of midnight on her 16th birthday to take her body, basically, in form.
And the fact that she's sleeping explains why the rabbit appeared at one point, and the cards appeared at one point, and I think the 3 fairies appearing there trying to
reach her
and give her a message. Maybe they were the ones that sent the cards or the feather to begin with, and that sort of thing. So,
I like where it's going now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm liking it. Mike 88 NYC, welcome in. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's got a direction now. I like it.
I'm liking it. So we'll pick that up next week. Sunday night, we're going to chill here in a little bit.
Yep.
But Sunday night, we decided we're going to go back and do Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Sunday night for movie night. That's on Disney Plus. So we'll do that Sunday night. And then after Indiana Jones, we're going to start doing some rom-coms.
Some Valentine's Day themed stuff. Yeah.
There we go. So that's kind of what's coming up there, just to kind of give you a heads up. We'll probably be back here Thursday night after everybody. Monorail Molly says, like the Notebook. I don't think the Notebook made our list.
It did not.
But some similar type movies.
Yes. Very much so.
So that's what we got coming up. Susan Silva says, I enjoyed Indiana Jones. I still haven't watched the new one yet, so I've been putting that off. So as I about to sneeze.
You sneezed?
Felt like I was going to sneeze. It turned into a yawn.
Oh.
Might be late Sunday night. Gotta watch my team go Bills. Corby. All right, Jenny. No problem.
Yep.
Snickerdoodle says, I can't watch the Notebook. It hit too close for me. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Never watched the Notebook.
Really?
So, anyway, is that Ryan Gosling in the Notebook?
Yep. What was first?
Okay.
I think that set his career.
I was assuming so, because Sparkly Pink Diamond said nothing like seeing Ryan Gosling in the rain. So
he's in a white shirt. It rains. He gets wet.
Molly said he was quirtly delicious.
Oh man.
So yeah.
The Notebook is a really good movie.
Well, we might have to add that one to the list at some point then. Never seen it. I always hear about it, but I've never seen it. So I've got a puzzle here over here. I think I'm going to finish though.
What? I got puzzles laying everywhere. I could start.
Have you? Do we have a thumbnail for tomorrow night?
No. Probably should do that first.
Oh. I was wondering if we had a theme or an idea.
I think we're going to talk about the healthy stuff.
Okay, cool. The Get Fit.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm going to drop some music in here.
What you do.
Let me see here.
Y'all can let me know if that's too loud or not. Let's see. Mar is out. Gonna take meds. Good night, Mar. Hope you feel better. Mar's said she's been dealing with bronchitis. Molly, that one is not on the rom-com. I can tell you right now, Magic Mike is not on the rom-com.
Chris fought for it, but I said no.
I said no, sir. I was not the one that fought for it.
I would have fought for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It wasn't on either one of our lists, but
somebody did have a pet named Channing. So
I did have Channing's Channing Tatum is what is it called, a man crush?
yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed all of his movies.
I think there's only 3 of them now.
3 movies or 3 Magic Mikes?
3 Magic Mikes.
There's at least 3. I don't know if there's a 4th one or not.
Oh.
I think the last one was called Magic Mike XXXL or something like. I don't know.
Something like that. Let me switch over to the build desk.
Yep.
And music and lyrics. Is that another? That it seems like I've heard of that movie.
What is it?
Music and lyrics.
I don't know if I know that one. I find it interesting that you don't do all the edges first.
Well, this one wasn't really edge friendly. So.
Edge friendly.
Debbie Vernfeld says, "Okay, what is Magic Mike? I am so clueless sometimes."
It's that's a stripper thing, male stripper thing. He's a dancer, an exotic dancer, which is ironic because Channing Tatum actually was before he became an actor.
I did not know that.
That's why he was so good at the movie.
Did not know that. That's what we call a career change, boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
I see no reason why I should ever let you go. Don't wanna wake up.
Oh man, I need to. I started Echo. I need to finish that.
I did not.
Drew Barrymore and Hugh Grant are in music and lyrics. One of my favorites. I'll look that one up. Corby Sinclair. I like Hugh Grant.
Makes a good Oompa Loompa.
Rebecca said Steve would definitely know if he was good or not after that Dancing Sunday.
True. I'm as you can tell, Sunday, I'm very well versed in dance.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget to breathe. I'm looking in your eyes.
Oh man, let me do that.
Let's see. I really wish there were better pictures of these puzzles.
Yeah.
Makes them harder to put together.
That'll work.
Debbie says, "Well, I know what I'm going to watch tonight. Magic Mike." Enjoy, Debbie.
Oh man.
After that, you can finish the next 2, apparently. So, or 3, or whatever it is.
There we go.
It's kind of weird that there was no football on tonight after having football
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday. It just kind of felt weird that there was none today.
It is Tuesday, though. All right, thumbnail is done, but I can't upload it yet.
Nice.
All right, I gotta go get a table. I'll be back.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely nights and heartbreaks. And I feel misplaced without you. Why don't we go back to? Why don't we go back to? Never wanted to end it like we did. I guess shit happens.
Oh, Steve, I didn't tell you what really good thing we did for supper tonight.
What was that?
Or lunch, I guess it was more like lunch. Debbie says she'll give everyone her report next time. We while we were out for doctor's appointments this afternoon, we stopped and brought home Olive Garden.
Oh, I love Olive Garden.
Yeah, it was good. Hadn't had Olive Garden in a long time, and brought it home. Dad didn't feel like going in, so we brought it home, and it's good.
Very nice.
Snickerdoodle's telling Debbie to keep it stream friendly reports.
Yes, Debbie. How big is this puzzle? Oh, it is not listed there. 19 by 19. This will work fine. Right. Oh, now you get some trays. What?
Just talking to myself on puzzle pieces fitting in places.
Did you answer yourself?
I had I tried something from Olive Garden today I've never had before there.
And what was that?
I went with the eggplant parmesan.
Interesting. Why did you decide to do that?
Because I like it. I like eggplant, and I hadn't had it in a while, and decided to try something different, and it was really good.
Nice. Oh, this one comes with a poster. Sweet. Not setting up a puzzle cam, sorry.
Okie dokie. Stacy says, I love eggplant. That sounds good. It was really good. I was surprised. There were like 4 pieces of eggplant, about like that. And then you got spaghetti with it, and of course soup or salad. And I got
salad.
Soup or salad.
I forgot to turn this off. Sorry. Turn it back on. That's cool.
I went with I got more soup for Dad to have tomorrow.
Yep, that's good.
I loved Olive Garden. I only go for spaghetti and sausages and marinara, but the breadsticks are good also, says Disnoa. Yeah.
See, I don't like their breadsticks. It's the one thing I don't like. I think they're too hard. They taste good. I mean, I'll lick the garlic off of them, but
breadsticks.
I had today. I had breadsticks from Fazoli's, which are, in my opinion, far superior to Olive Garden. But I do love Olive Garden salad. We used to go for lunch all the time. I'd get the spaghetti with meat sauce, which is really, really, really good. And then I would get, I'd sit there and eat 2 bowls of salad. Good stuff.
It was good.
Oh, I don't have Here's mine. We'll use this for now.
The salad is the best part of Olive Garden for sure, says Corby. I do like their salad, but Mom got the salad. I just decided since I was bringing it home, I passed on the salad.
Keep it up one more minute. Keep it up, you're so great. Standing, talking, you got me checkmate. No one's watching and nothing.
So, does the chat have any questions?
Yeah,
You guys want to chat about anything? What do you want to know?
we can make it a question and answer session. Debbie says eggplant was my mom's favorite. I really like. I had eggplant for the first time, and thank you, Nicole, for dropping the link for the fundraiser. I had eggplant for the first time, I think, when I was in college, and I really like eggplant parmesan. We had some friends that would make, a woman in our church that would make eggplant lasagna, and I loved that. It's so good. Molly says yes, I love Q&A. Well, here you go. Here's your chance.
What Q would you like an A to?
Exactly. We're here to give your Q's A's. That sounded weird. Space Mountain Dave, welcome in. Good to see you. Are you binging any new series lately, Steve?
Monorail Molly has a question for you.
Molly has a question. Okay, first question is for Chris. Table service or counter service? How do I want to answer this? I strive for table service, but sometimes it may end up being a counter service. You know, when you're in a hurry at the park, you just don't want to take the extra time and miss out on another ride. So I don't know. I think Corby was going to ask a question for Steve. She pulled it back. Give her a minute to retype it.
Mhm.
Counter service is budget friendly. Sometimes it is even a grab and go. Yeah. Those are good. Did Disney Baker welcome in?
Chris!
Steve, did you get the 50th anniversary Magic Kingdom Castle puzzle? That's Baker.
What is that?
I'm asking. I wonder what that is too, Baker.
Chris, can you send me a picture of it?
Send it to one of us. Okay, Corby. So, question for Steve.
Yep.
Which Broadway concert series concert are you looking forward to the most?
Michael James Scott. The one last night was very good.
Yeah.
But Michael James Scott is iconic. Plays the genie in Aladdin. There's 4 groups of them though. So you have the 2 girls from last night, which were Cassie Levy and Patty Murin from Frozen, both from Frozen, the original Frozen. You got Holly Blickenstaff and Gavin Lee from Mary Poppins and Freaky Friday. Then you have Ashley Brown and L. Steven Tyler he's from Lion King. She's from Mary Poppins. And then the one like I said that I want to see. Actually, I think it's not true. There's 6. And you've got the girl from Kissy Simmons and Josh Strickland, who is Lion King and Tarzan. I think that one's going to be really good. But then Michael James Scott is from Aladdin, incredible. The girl he's with, Mandy Gonzalez, she's from Ada, which I'm not as happy about, but he's good. And then you got Bradley Gibson and Shobha Narayan from Aladdin and Hercules, which would be good too. So then the last night, those last 4 all together singing. So,
Molly asked a question. Okay, now question for Steve. If you could only have one type of glue, would you want front glue or back glue, and why?
Front glue because it's cleaner. Doesn't have any of those dirty particles in the bottom of the bottle.
Let's see.
If you have dirty back glue, you put it on the front of a puzzle, it's just going to leave specks of dirt everywhere.
Yep. Corby says he's incredible. I got to see him a few years ago. Baker said, okay, it's from the artist that did the rendition or the castle.
Uh-oh. Bob Chapek has his first job.
Oh, really?
Yep. He has joined the board of directors of Massimo, which is a medical technology company.
Oh. Well, good for him.
Just the board, though. He's not anything special.
Nobody's trusting him with leadership
Nope.
yet.
Nobody's trusting him with anything. He's just on the board of directors. That's all.
Well, I'm glad he's found a new position.
Not me. That's another company he can ruin.
All right, Baker asks another question. How long have you been puzzles and why?
How long have I been doing puzzles?
I guess.
Since I really knew what they were, because I like mind stimulation, and they go together easy for me. I mean, I see things differently than most people see them, so it I don't know, gives me something to do. More challenging ones though.
Mike 88 says last night's one was amazing. The one that you
The girls, yeah.
Yeah.
Cassie Levy and Patty Murin.
Yep. Robert Dixon was asking if you could show a picture of the puzzle you're working on.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm working on this one. It's a foil puzzle. All the blue is foil. And all the rest of it is characters.
Bob Paycheck's in chat. Yes, I finally got a job finally. At least it doesn't involve my hands. Good to see you again, big bridge dweller.
Bob, we meet again.
All right. Corby asked me a question. She said, "What Disney festival is your favorite and why?" I enjoy Flower and Garden Festival. That's when I would take the kids a lot.
Now, you haven't been to them all, though, right?
I have not been to Festival of the Arts. I've been to Food and Wine now. Do we count the holidays as a festival?
Yeah, it's called Festival of the Holidays.
Yeah. Well, then that's my favorite one.
Okay. My favorite, too.
Yeah.
But Festival of the Arts is right there with it.
But as the others, I would love to do Festival of the Arts to see all this amazing artwork and everything. I do love Flower and Garden, though.
Which they announced a lot of stuff for today.
Yeah.
You got the Garden Rock series. You got they announced all the topiaries coming and where they're going to be at.
Nice. Thomas Kincaid, says Baker.
What? Who's Thomas Kincaid?
I don't know. He just said Thomas Kincaid. Maybe that's who did the puzzle he's talking about.
Yeah, Chris, I'd have to see what you're talking about, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me go back. There was another couple questions. Let's see. Stacy said, Dad Builds, I heard you say you started Echo. How many episodes have you watched? And what are your thoughts? We only have the last episode to watch, and I'm really liking it. I've finished, I started watching it last week while Dad was in the hospital. I think I'm into episode 2, or I've finished episode 2, Stacy. I'll have to go back and check. I just started it, but I'm really liking it.
Well, it's only 5 episodes, right?
5 or 6, yeah. Stephen K asks if you could have free meals for life at one fast food chain, which one would you choose? Oh, that's a good question.
If we have what?
If you could have fast food meals for life,
oh, Chick-fil-A.
At one fast food chain, which one would you choose?
Chick-fil-A. I ate there too much.
What? That's a tough one.
Easy for me. It's either gonna be Chick-fil-A or Chipotle. I'm going Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chipotle or Moe's. Those are yeah. I do love Mexican. That's tough. I like Zaxby's too though, because I like salads.
Ooh, Zaxby's is good, but not better than Chick-fil-A for me.
Yeah. All right. Let me scroll back down. Robert Dixon asks, "What is my favorite park?" Robert, it's kind of a tie between Epcot and Magic Kingdom. I usually spend a lot of time at Epcot because I love the scenery and the World Showcase.
Yeah, wait till you see the new stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Yep, Wendy. Food and Flower and Garden stuff got announced today. Let's see. Swedish drama. 5 episodes and it was good, says Snickerdoodle. The puzzle of the Thomas Kincaid 50th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom Castle print.
I don't know what that is. I need a picture.
Don't know that I've seen that. I'll have to.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, I don't know if we know what you're talking about, Chris.
I didn't know Kincaid had a. See if I can find one.
Yeah, I think what he's talking about there.
We have one where Chris, question. Talk about the new studio. Is it working? What do you think about it? It looks wonderful on screen. Well, thank you, Wendy. I'm liking it. It's still taking a little getting used to. I'm still kind of working with light balances and different stuff like that. And there's still a lot of mess that y'all can't see that I'm having to rearrange. But I am. It's nice having my own separate space here. If that makes sense. David Bacco asks what kind of music we like.
Everything except country and hard heavy metal.
Yeah, I'm not a big into heavy metal usually. I do listen to country. Of course, K-pop.
Like this one.
Regular pop. Alternative. I listen to just about everything.
Oh, Chris.
Classic.
I think I might have scared Jan when I found out. There is one of my favorite all-time artists coming for the first time ever to Epcot thing. You might know who it is when I tell you.
Okay.
A lot of people will have no idea. It is Crowder, which is formerly the David Crowder Band.
I know that band. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible Christian group.
Yeah.
Amazing singing, amazing songs. He's coming to Disney.
That's awesome.
April 7th or 8th. I'm going to get the dining package. I won't need it, but I'm going to get it anyway.
Thank you, Susan. Says that it does look really nice. Love the background. Thank you. Thank you. And you said, I'm so glad, Chris, you deserve it. Well, thank you. I deserve it, but I appreciate it. The Corey says, okay, I'm lost. She's asking sparkly pink diamonds, what is quirting?
Oh, Jenny.
We discovered that one last night thanks to a typo from Monorail Molly who meant to type squirt and ended up with quirk.
Simple terms, it's a writing crowd.
Yep. All right, let me see if I can find this Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah, I'm very interested now. And Chris, is it at the parks? Is that why he's saying it? Is it at the parks now? You need more context there.
I see a print. I don't see a puzzle of it.
What's the print look like?
The print is pretty print. Let me see. Trying to find a way to show this better on camera. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what's on your mind.
Here, we'll go this way. Let's go here. Present this screen.
Don't have time to figure it out.
Walt Disney 50th Anniversary Gallery Wrapped Canvas by Thomas Kincaid Studios.
That's an old That's an old puzzle. Really old puzzle.
I've never seen this puzzle.
Oh yeah, they've been selling that for years.
Well, now there's this puzzle, Steve, that I've got.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got. Yeah, I've seen both of those.
But this is different than that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen this one as a puzzle.
almost certain.
And it didn't come up as a search result for a puzzle. It just showed.
Oh wait, Baker sent it to me. It's at Walmart. That's where I think I got mine, to be honest. No, the Chris, pull up again. Pull up the one you said the one you knew about.
This is the one that I knew about. Gotta go back to Brazil. Sorry. This is the one that I knew about.
Yeah, that's the one he's sending.
That
one's been out for years. The other one, I think, is a puzzle too. I've seen the other one. It may just be the painting because I've been in the Thomas Kincaid studio so much, but I'm pretty sure I've seen. I thought I got a puzzle of that one too.
I haven't. I can't find a puzzle of this one, but I have this one, and I've done that one myself. But this is from the Castle Still Gray without the 50th logo on it. So $125 for that wrapped canvas. That one is 14 by 14 on Shop Disney. Listen, Neil, welcome in.
Back when, oh my gosh, it's been out since at least 2019. I think it's 2019.
MK had only 20,000 guests or less the last 2 days. Wow.
That's still a lot, though. It's not, I mean, it's only 20% of what they can capacity, but it's still 20,000 people. To give you a perspective, they're only supposed to sell about 10,000 tickets for the parties.
Really?
So like twice that of a party. When D&T showed up there, remember the August 2019 we were there?
Yeah.
Either that or the January 2020, we bought that puzzle as a giveaway for somebody.
Oh, really?
Yep. So it's been around for 3 or 4 years at least.
Yeah, I've had that one. That was one of the first Disney ones that I started putting together back in 2020 when I started really getting back into puzzling. Good night, Space Mountain Dave.
All right.
Have a good one.
Ow. That is Robin Hood. It's over there. That is. What is that? Oh no. Buzz Lightyear. Bambi. Aladdin. There's the hand. Robin Hood's.
So, I'll ask you a question real quick while other people are coming up with more questions. The Magical Night of Hope, you said set for the 14th?
Yep. December 14th, tickets will go on sale soon.
Yep. It's crazy to be already thinking about it, and it just has just happened. Just seems like a week or two ago.
Well, we're not waiting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're want to get it out there so people can plan their vacations. I know several people have already planned their vacations for it. So we want to give everybody the opportunity to, get as much time as possible.
Yeah. Corby says, Dad Builds question for you and Steve. What is your ultimate favorite book?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, if you take the Bible out of it,
Yeah, I was about to say.
Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye, really?
Yep, love that book.
All right, this is going to sound sappy, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Flowers for Algernon really got me.
That's a good one too.
Flowers for Algernon really got me. I haven't read it in a long time, but that one's good. Baker says 46 degrees here in Orlando tomorrow morning. Brr.
Yep, we got a cold day tomorrow. Then we jump back up a little bit.
You were always there for me, and we could talk for hours. I don't know what happened to us. Oh, 'cause we bring each other down right now, and I don't even know why. You know, I really think it's time we said goodbye. Baby, I'm too fed up with
That also excludes me from picking out comic books that are favorites too.
Yeah.
Silly as that sounds.
Need one piece. Where's that? Nope, that's Dumbo. That's a genie.
Stacy said, "Did you say that what some of the rom-coms are we will be watching?"
We did not.
We didn't yet. Can we not? We did not.
I mean, we could.
We could.
It's up to you.
Let's go for it.
In order?
Sure.
Do you know what they are?
No, I don't.
So we are going to watch Indiana Jones next week.
Yep.
Then we're going to watch a Justin Timberlake special, Friends with Benefits. Then Chris and I will be taking a couple weeks off.
Yes.
Then we will come back to another Channing Tatum masterpiece, The Lost City, and The Princess Bride.
Here we go.
Those are the ones we are going with for now. Then we got some more afterwards. That'll get us through February. We may pick up a few more. But we got a couple classics and one that Chris hasn't seen. You've not seen Lost City, right?
I have not seen Lost City. I have not seen Friends with Benefits either.
That one's funny. That's a good That's a really good rom-com. Then we got a classic one, and then I love Lost City with Sandra Bullock and him.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like it a lot. Was that it? Cool.
Corby says, "Love The Lost City." That one looked good. I just never got around to watching it.
It is good. I love it.
There were several that we had on the list. But,
oh man, we had a ton of them.
Yeah, it came down again to time permitting and
a
couple other things going on that time frame.
Princess Bride was like, we said it and we were like, okay, that one's got to be on the list.
That one's got to be there.
And I basically chose Friends with Benefits because I think it's really good. Now, I will warn you guys that some of it's not kid friendly.
Yeah.
Would highly recommend you don't watch it with kids in the room.
Jeannie 52573, welcome in. Good to see you.
Hello.
Good night, Corby. Have a good night.
Good night, Corby.
Let's see.
Lost City, but you might want to have kids not present as well.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
It's a little violent.
Let's see. Was a question. Stephen K asked if you could have one of these superpowers, which one would it be?
Ooh.
Super strength, ability to fly, or ability to read minds?
Ooh. Well, I wouldn't care about flying for me. It would probably be to run, be really strong, or read people's minds. And the problem is, I'd like to go with the reading people's minds as long as I can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
If I can't turn it on and off, I want to be strong.
I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with the ability to fly.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's what I'm going to go with.
I will say, Chris, the border for the puzzle is a little tricky. No, that's not it.
See, we got any other
What?
thigh glues here? Welcome in, thigh glue.
Thigh glue?
Yep.
What is thigh glue?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so Wendy says if you had a house of your own,
Ooh.
with your own kitchen, what meal would you cook? Or
All of
top
it.
3, not including pot roast.
All of them. So it depends on whether I'm having people over or not, because and I guess we're not grilling because you said kitchen. So first meal I'm going to prepare is a good old classic ribeye and potatoes and some probably some green beans, some firecracker green beans, put a little spiciness in there. That's probably my first one. Second meal is probably going to be some pork chops that are going to be glazed and seasoned all nice and with goodness. Of course, we're going to have a side salad with all these. And then we're going to probably have some probably have potatoes again, but they're going to be like little sliced up potatoes where you don't quite take them out, with some garlic and onion and stuff like that. And then my third one is probably going to be chicken parmesan, or it's going to be some form of chicken. I'll probably go with chicken parmesan.
Nice.
Love me some good food. So
Yeah.
but that's scallop. Not, I don't think they're called scallops. Or are they called scallops? My mom used to. I want to say potato au gratin, but that's with cheese, I believe. That's not what I'm saying. We would just take the potato, we would slice it, but not all the way through. So the potatoes go together, and then you just pour the butter into them, and put the seasoning and garlic and onion.
Yep.
And then roast them like that. So I wasn't allowed to include pot roast. But I'll tell you this, my pot roast is better than anyone I've eaten down here. So what are firecracker green beans?
Yep.
They have bacon, they have pepper, they have garlic. They're spicy and seasoned very well. So just so they have some onion, some depends on what you have. Like I like to use fresh pepper and stuff like that when I cook. But if you don't, like just putting some kind of black pepper Some onion and garlic will spice it up a little bit. And then but the bacon's key there. I get peppered bacon. So
I've never heard of those myself.
Hasselback potato. Never called it that, but I'm not going to say it's not what it's called. Ow. Hmm. Yes, Christopher. Did you have a question?
I was looking to see if there was any more questions.
Oh.
Dad Bills, might I suggest Shotgun Wedding is one of the movies to watch. It stars Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Coolidge, and Josh Duhamel.
That's a good one.
I'll check it out, Stacy. I hadn't heard of that one.
Oops, that's not that doesn't go there. Is that already the end? It is. Okay, who is this? This one and that one. Is it? I like question and answer time.
Yeah.
It's always so nice. I mean, not always nice, but for the most part, nice. Ow. Nope, not you. Oh, again.
Ticket to Paradise, George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Cool. Okay, Chris and Steve, I need to pick a glue for my 4 park puzzles.
Yep.
Do any of them yellow over time?
Yes. And Chris doesn't want to know this, but it's Mod Podge.
I was about to say it's probably Mod Podge. I'd
Mod
probably
Podge.
go with the one that Steve uses. The
Why, it's right here. It's Puzzle Guard.
Yeah.
It comes like this in the bigger container. It comes like this in the smaller container. Puzzle Guard or Mod Podge won't necessarily yellow over time, but it can yellow over time.
You can get that one at Walmart too.
Yeah, the ones I get are at Walmart. You can order them online. I mean, I've been gluing puzzles for I don't know how long. I probably own stock in it by now, but never had a bad result. So
all the glues.
all of them.
All right, so there's the bulk of that puzzle done. I just have to do the border.
Border.
Border. Which,
Just go here. Sure does. Border's done. I have a feeling this might go together pretty fast, being very distinctive on the characters.
yeah.
Let's see what we got, kids. That is Artia, that's it. Part of the word. The eyes. She's up here. Deathly. Bring this closer. Ah. Let's see just. Oh, she's right there. That's Maleficent. Just right in the middle. Where you at, Ariel? Here, over there. That's the big red creature that they still try to sell. Melee.
See. When you get a chance, I sent you something on it. Okay, Debbie, I'll check it. Chris, that puzzle set, glued, matted, and framed, is a gallery wall. I love it. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I really like these three. Oh, those are Hasselback potatoes.
What?
That's interesting, Debbie. See if I can pull up an image of that. So that's Hasselback potatoes.
Very similar, yes. They don't have as much stuff on them, but yeah.
Interesting.
You cook them in a glass pan, you fill it with butter. So good.
Cut thin slices down the top of your potatoes, taking care not to cut all the way through to the bottom. Make a mixture of melted butter,
Wow.
olive oil, salt, and pepper. Brush that mixture over each potato. Make sure to get between the slices. Oven bake and crisp up. Take them out of the oven, let them cool. As you insert cheese slices in between the slices of potatoes.
Yeah, we don't do any of that.
Potatoes go back in the oven so that the cheese can nice and melted. And when ready, serve with your favorite toppings like bacon, chives, sour cream. Those look, oh look, there's a picture of the cheese in between each slice. Look at that. That looks,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, here's a confession y'all will probably cool. Steve, have you made those? I never have, asked Wendy B.
Maybe what?
The ones that I showed.
A variation of them.
Debbie Burfield says melted glue may be very interesting on potatoes. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna stay away from the melted glue.
let's see. Have y'all ever had twice baked potatoes? Delicious, just sparkly pink. I love twice baked potatoes.
Yep.
Yeah. But here's my potato confession.
Oh man.
I don't like the skin of the potato.
I'm not a huge fan.
Really not.
I love red potatoes. I'll eat the skin on the red potatoes. Well, it's got all depends on the preparation. Like I'm not a fan of baked potatoes.
Oh, I love baked potatoes.
Not I. I like potatoes a lot. Not a huge fan of baked potatoes. They're too plain and too simple for me. I just like to change them, jazz them up, make something different. Let's look for one more piece real quick for the take a picture.
I'm Irish potatoes are a food group, but those potatoes look dangerous, says 100 Acre Wood. Yes, I agree.
They can be dangerous.
Um,
You can have one piece.
First time I ever saw you, I fell in love when you
There it is.
entered the room.
Ty Glue, you're welcome to chat, but you need to watch it.
Your face, we were just kids, but I knew right away that I will be with you until I stop breathing. I will keep loving you as long as my heart's beating. Oh,
This is gonna go together at an alarmingly fast rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cruising along like way faster than I should be. Oops.
Oh, Wendy B, that'd be amazing. Wendy said if I ever get into a big DVC room down there, I'm cooking dinner for y'all.
Oh
I would
yeah.
love that. That'd be. I might have to come down for that.
even though years have gone by, I'm still in love with the way that you smile. And when I look in your eyes, I know that I will be with you the rest of my life. I will be with you until I stop breathing. I will keep
Uh-oh.
loving you as long as my heart's beating. Oh, be close, promise you won't let go. I'm nothing without you. I don't know what I would do without you. You are the one I choose. I wanna grow old with you. I
The-
Do what?
You guys got to get to Mass so I can do a 15-pound brisket on the smoker for you. Jeff
Oh.
Condon says.
I'll do it.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
I love me some brisket. Love brisket.
Yeah.
But that requires my grill and my smoker for that stuff.
That's something I'd like to get in and learn about, but
Oh, so
I feel
good.
like it would be dangerous for me to know too much about
Very
that.
dangerous. Very dangerous.
My brother does that some and really enjoys it. Not bragging, but it comes out pretty dang good. I bet, Jeff.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. You can brag on that. You're allowed to brag on how good your brisket is. Weird.
I wanna give you a million things, 'cause isn't love what it's all about?
All right, since I don't see another question, I'll give you another confession.
Okay.
I like to. I'll turn on the TV and fall asleep to some show streaming that I've seen a lot of, and just something that I can kind of tune out and fall asleep to.
Okay.
I found a new, well, not a new. I found a show streaming that I haven't seen in a long time,
Yeah.
and I got a little excited about it. I'm a little embarrassed to say, but
Sounds weird, but I'll allow it.
my recent show of choice has been Matlock.
Oh, like with Andy Griffin?
Andy Griffith, yeah.
I like Matlock. What's wrong with that?
It's on Prime now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It was probably, growing up, it was probably the oldest show I ever watched. That and All in the Family.
Yeah.
I don't know which one of those is older.
I kind of grew up watching it, and yeah, I always thought it'd be cool to, yeah. Katie Y, welcome in, Katie Y. Katie, I started to message you earlier, and I got tied up with Dad, but I hope everything went well for you today.
Oh, I forget to turn that back on.
Debbie Burnfeld says her favorite is Columbo. Columbo was a little before my time, Debbie. I remember that being in replays, but I never watched it much. That's cool, Wendy. Wendy says they built a house with a courtyard for grilling and entertaining. They are the hub, and she loves it. That's cool. Interview went okay. There was a young guy in the lobby waiting to go in after me. A tad bit concerning. Now it's time for references and to wait out the week. Well, I'm hoping everything goes well for you, Katie. Um,
Feeding me with all these lies, I feel sick. You're a bad choice.
I don't know many people that have the portfolio to match up to some of your stuff. So
Are you texting me to tell me that I'm shit? Why are you still
hope it goes well for you and you get some good news soon.
can't see that I'm hard to hold? I know I'm a basket case you think should be alone, but I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, don't want you. I can barely sleep 'cause of you, but I still have my friends, don't want you. You're a nightmare.
If we're live for another hour, I'll be done with this puzzle. Maybe a lot sooner than that.
That quick, huh?
Dude, it's going together like I just grab a piece and put it in because you can see where it goes.
I was wondering about that one. It looked like it would be fun to put together, but it looked
Oh,
like
it's
it
crazy. It's a lot of fun.
might go together pretty quick too. It looked like.
I really like it. It looks super cool. And Chris, the foil is definitely the blue background and not the character.
That's cool. That reminds me, I've got that Spider-Man one foil to put together.
Oh yeah. Let's not hear this. Miguel.
But I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, so you. But I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, don't want you. I can barely sleep 'cause of you. But I still have my friends, don't want you. But I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, don't want you. I can barely sleep 'cause of you. But I still have my friends,
Ow.
don't want you.
Oh, that didn't go there. It was this one.
Let me feel your
Where's Jiminy at? Right down here.
'cause I've been running round in circles, screaming out your name. Take me to a different place. Just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do.
See, Chris, Steve, do y'all have any weekend plans? Asked Weenie B.
This weekend? Yes, I'm working a golf tournament.
I'm undecided at the moment. I think Dad's got a couple more doctor appointments coming up, so I might end up working part of the weekend. Wendy says, I do. I'm going to Disney. I'm getting excited. Sorry. Well, good for you. That's cool.
She is definitely coming.
And then Monorail Molly will be there shortly after Wendy.
All that time away from you. I didn't think
This is ridiculous.
without you by my side.
Who's that?
Let me feel your love
That's Anna.
again.
Where's she at?
Just the two of us.
That's what makes me jealous of you living down there, buddy, is the constant stream of friends coming into town and getting to see.
Yep. kind of the best part.
Yep.
Where is he at? Right there.
Holy cow! I just felt a bunch of.
What?
The wind's kicking up every once in a while, and it's like there's a stream of cold air coming in.
Oh. You going up your leg? Up your pantal region?
Katie Y says, I'll be at Disney in 5 weeks. My first trip back there since 2000.
Nice.
Wow, Katie.
Very nice.
You got a lot to catch up on then.
This is crazy.
There's a lot changed since you were last there.
Oh, yeah.
Say something like you love me and make my day like you always do. Always do.
Out.
Yes, David Bacco, he's in Florida. Chris, even in Georgia, the drafts are terrible tonight. They are windy. The wind keeps kicking up here. It's.
I mentioned it's cold in Florida.
Yes, you mentioned that it's 60 degrees.
Mm-hmm. No, 59.
50. Oh wow,
Going
59.
rapidly.
You better get a blanket or two or
I need
four.
one. I got the one that Stephen K's mom made me. Right over there on the bed.
You may freeze your giblets off tonight.
Oh man, that would take a pretty deep freeze. Your body temperature is a little warm. Moana, make way, make way. That's Pocahontas. There's Mulan. There is, what is that? That is the evil queen. There she is. And there's Crush. Right there. Baloo. Who wears sandals like that? Well, that's yeah, her sister. The only thing I don't like about this is they don't. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'd like it better this way. They don't put the characters that belong together. So Lady and the Tramp are not next to each other. They're like,
Oh yeah.
they're across the board from each other. All right, who we got here? That's Belle. Recognize that face. And then that's Jack.
Like the ones that you think would be connected by their movie or not.
Well, yeah, like for instance, there's like 5 characters from Encanto, and they're like all over the place. Or that's Moana. Moana. Snow White. Snow White. And she's in such a car right there. And then her looks like Ariel's head. It is. This one is Louisa. That is Cheshire. And there's Carl. And what is this? This is the Mermaid's Hair. Aria. That is Doug.
I was watching Tanya a little bit today.
Yeah.
He was over at Magic Kingdom. And I don't know what it is about that fantasy of festival parade that they do. Every time I watch it, puts me in the mood to go listen to Disney music.
Oh, I love that. It's such a good parade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. That's Ice Queen. There's Ursula. She's gonna go where? She's fucking big. She's good. There's Carl Balloons. The rest of his face. Mickey. What's that name? What's that, Mickey?
Did I miss any questions? Let's go back to the chat here. Marguerite Nagy, welcome in. Good to see you. Cole's back. Georgia's 17, feels like 6. Georgia right now.
I like you guys to keep that cold weather you're sending to us.
Stacy says she lives in a brick house and the wind is so bad here sometimes it's like the house shakes. Jeannie says that it is 0 degrees here in Northeast Illinois.
He doesn't have one. There's no temperature.
No temperature, just a 0 degree. See.
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
That's what I was going to go check. It is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're down to 21 degrees now and feels like 11.
Hmm.
So it's dropped some more.
I feel like I should feel bad for you.
But
maybe not.
I appreciate your lack of empathy.
Well, you know, I got to be real. I got to keep it real.
I understand that. Yes, sure.
What is that? Is that yep, sure. Here's Nikki's head. There's Edna Mode. I don't remember seeing her. Where's she at? Where's Mode feet? That's her body right there. Where's Olaf? Oh, he was up here. Rapunzel? I love it when a plan comes together. That's above him like that. This is a beautiful, beautiful puzzle.
I did something I shouldn't have done today.
What'd you do?
I pulled up Shop Disney and all that stuff was sitting in my cart and the sale was over.
Yep. You didn't buy it though, did you?
No, I didn't buy anything because the sale was over.
Oh, there's Flynn. Where's he at? It's all connected.
Who's looking back at me? I don't know what happened.
Let's see, I have sympathy for you, Chris. It's 22 here, says Debbie Thunert. Angela says 16 feels like 4.
Jeez.
Stay warm, Snickerdoodle. Jeff said a balmy 20 in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah, Wendy, I don't get it. I don't know. Nicole says it's going to be 19 at 6 a.m. here. Right now, it's 27.
I suggest you sleep in.
Stacy Rogers has a question for us. What is your favorite kind of M&Ms?
Probably peanut butter. And Chris can't have that.
Yeah, you can have all those. I'm gonna go. I started to say classic regular M&Ms, but actually, my absolute favorite M&Ms are M&M minis.
Oh, a little bit more candy shell on that.
Well, just the little tiny ones. I don't know why I like the.
Does it make you feel like you're not being as bad?
Yeah.
I almost said the regular plastic M&Ms too, but I like peanut butter better.
I like minis. And you can buy like a great big shareable bag of them, and they last for a long time.
They sure do.
Unless you eat a lot of them.
Oh, wow. My name is Doug, and I love you. That goes in right there. Well, looky there.
Well, looky there. I finished.
Yeah, look at
before you.
that. Are you finished? Dude, I'm literally like 75 pieces away from finishing.
Right
It's
there.
crazy. I like yours though.
Sparkly Pink says yes. Peanut butter and fudge brownies are a tie. I haven't tried the fudge brownie ones. Katie Y says it's 3 here and feels like -7.
I thought she was talking about the time.
Stacy says Dad builds. I know you can't have them, but ask Steve if he knows that M&M's just came out with mini peanut butter M&M's.
Yeah, the mini peanut butters? That's just torturing, Chris. I did not know they had those.
And she says for me to be careful if I grab the ones in the tube that I don't get the peanut butter ones instead. Yeah, that would not be a good surprise. Nicole's dropping the link for this and that tomorrow night.
I don't even have it up yet. Oh, it's just the
you put
regular.
it up earlier.
No, I've got it. I have the thumbnail ready, but I can't log on until I log off of this.
Oh, she just put the link for the channel.
Yeah.
Nicole says I love plain M&Ms, but the caramel ones are really good. Those, yeah, those are pretty good. I like the mint ones every once in a while when they do mint, but they do a bunch of odd flavors of those, like they do with Kit Kats.
Yeah.
And the
Well, if you go to
Oreo.
the M&M store here at Disney Springs,
Right.
they have a lot of them. A lot of odd flavors. There we go. Now let's go her up.
Wendy says it's because Nicole is the bomb and she's ahead of y'all even.
What?
With the link, she said that she posted the link before you even had it done.
I'm aware. Cannot disagree with that statement.
Stacy said M&M's had a coffee nut version before. Those were really good. I bet those were good.
I can't do coffee.
I love coffee.
Who is that? Oh, that's Rafiki. It's a weird looking Rafiki. Are you gonna glue, Chris?
Well,
are you gonna give the people the glue that they want?
I guess I could glue.
Yeah.
Do you remember the candy bar? Whatchamacallit? It had Rice Krispie. I remember those, Wendy B.
They still have them. Well, I think they still have them. I've seen.
I think they do.
You know, I don't know. I've been down here a couple of years. I don't remember.
Pretty sure they do. Oh, you know the other thing too, Steve.
Yeah.
If I'm going to glue a puzzle,
yeah,
then I need to have some glue.
Go get it. We'll wait.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark?
Where's your glue at?
So far away, show
That's
us
a
where
good
we
question.
are.
You should find it.
What makes the sun go to sleep?
Search for the glue with Chris.
What's it dreaming of?
Great quest for glue.
I wonder.
There.
How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder.
You all right?
Wonder.
Yeah.
How come
Um,
trees gets undressed when it's cold? And don't they miss the leaves they left behind?
No, I wasn't lying when I said the rest of this office is a mess.
Cold until winter comes.
Just so y'all know, I'm telling the truth.
I've seen it.
Till winter comes.
Hey, there's my whiskey. I did find that.
Your whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
Like
me
alcohol?
wonder.
Maker's Mark whiskey.
It really makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder.
What is that? Picture time?
This,
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark? From so far away, show us where we are.
You got this, Chris. We all have faith. Oh, sorry.
Makes me wonder.
We all have faith
Hey.
in you.
I
Yay!
found glue.
Ooh, what kind is it?
Oh, I wonder.
Just when we thought all hope was lost.
I just wonder.
What kind of glue is it?
Oh, it's the Maji Podgy.
Really makes me
What? Which one? You have like 6.
Oh, it's the regular Mod Podge.
Oh,
Yeah, it makes me wonder.
And it's good, clean front glue. That's what we'll use first.
yeah.
Really makes me wonder.
Now the other,
That does not go there.
Never could have been thinking I would know what the future bring. All the highs and lows. Said I'm gonna win, though the world might spin.
Oh, she was right there. There she is.
Like I'm no one. It rains down on me. All the phone calls I'm ignoring. See, I'm a mess, just trying to guess my way through this. Just don't get enough of me.
the other flip side of this coin is
Yeah.
Just don't get
you need
enough.
to find a glue spreader.
Uh-oh. We need a glue spreader.
Glue spreader.
Just don't get enough of me.
You got-
I put the 2 Steve ones that Molly sent me in a safe place so I wouldn't lose them.
And
Way too much. Gotta
you lost
I'm
them.
not sure where that safe
Did
place
it
is.
bring me luck? Just the honest.
What about using your hands, Christopher?
If I'm gonna
That would get very sticky.
oh, I'm just gonna
Get yourself into a sticky situation.
all the phone calls I'm ignoring.
Hey, there they are.
Look at Chris pulling out all the stops tonight.
It's Steve and Steve.
Just don't get enough of me.
All right.
Just don't get enough of me.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the stream tonight. We'll
Nope. No.
we'll be back here next Thursday night. So.
Not allowed to do that. You can't tease people like that.
Just don't get enough of me. Just don't get enough of me. Wanna go back in time when everything seems so clear and when the problems we carried weren't
Your camera's a little blurry, Chris.
It is.
Where'd he go?
See if I can.
Just don't get enough of me. I told you I'm not yours anymore. No, I'm not yours. So why you trying to hold on when I'm not there for you?
There we go. Back in.
Wanna play my own game.
All right.
I don't need you here. So won't you let me go? Why take this ball and chain that you have put on me and throw it out the window? I think that you should let go. This honest is not meant to be let go. Maybe I should have known that
I was so excited to put a puzzle together in the new office. I didn't really prepare well and didn't put the paper underneath said puzzle.
Uh-oh. Got one of those situations.
So now I'm having to carefully work said
Easy.
paper.
Easy.
Seeing it starting to come.
Go slow. Be gentle.
Come on, you scallywag.
Oh, he called it a scallywag. To all the pirates out there, I'd like to apologize for Chris's. There. Sweet.
Oh no.
What'd you do?
This is not going well.
So here's what you do, Chris. You get a stiff piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
You put it at the edge of the table, hold it very sturdy, and slide that puzzle off the table and onto the cardboard. Then you take that cardboard and you put the paper down, and then you take the cardboard and slide the puzzle onto the paper. You have a box or anything firm that's that big.
I don't have anything that's we're gonna get there. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why when you start the puzzle, you put the paper down first. Especially when it's a Disney Parks puzzle that
Yeah, they don't fit together the greatest.
doesn't stay together very well.
So full of self-confidence, and everything you said made a lot of sense. I thought I was too
Trays, let's clean off a little more working elbow room here.
cut through the rain. We see the distance grow. I just need
Cats keeping themselves entertained, so that's good.
I'm living in your messages. I'm closer to you there, I guess. Living in your messages. Every day now I confess. I hear your laughter from within. You can light up any room without going in. Funny how just a few letters
Just not want to cooperate.
You can't give up now. You got to figure this out.
I'm living in your messages. I'm closer to you there, I guess. Living in your messages. Every day now I confess. I thought I'd never wanna stay. I was dead wrong. I have tried to look away. I'm not that strong. Promise me don't make me wait. Been here too long. Tell me if it is too late. Is it too late? I'm closer to you there, I guess.
I need a minute.
Go ahead, take all the time you need. I've gotten myself into this situation a few times before. That's how I know how to get out of it. But you have to have said cardboard to make it work.
So this is where I am now.
Yep. Chris, what did you do? You need the cardboard. Chris. Well, you're on the paper.
I'm on the paper.
And you know where all the rest of those go. They go very, very near the location that they are in.
Yep.
I can hear the frustration in your voice. I'm sorry.
I won't slow down. I'm
Oh,
strolling down the
Chris.
street with all of my favorite songs on repeat. I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way, and I don't care if you spill coffee on me or if the
What is
sky is
this?
gray or blue. No, I don't care 'cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop. I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna ride.
Yes, sir.
It is my time.
Chris, it's happened to me. Totally understand, says Nicole. Yeah.
What it's like to be broke, yeah.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
What it's like
We'll
when
get
nothing
there.
goes your way. So
it's not fun.
self-enjoy the fruit from this
Um,
lucky day. Yeah, I am on my way up. I won't slow down.
Story.
Yeah, I am
Who's
on
this?
my way
See, I need some
I won't slow
guys. That is Goofy's hand, right? No. That is Climax. Who's this? Not that many more pieces left. They gotta go somewhere, right? Who's missing feet? Speak up. You got feet, you got feet. You got feet. Somebody who's barefoot. Oh, Pocahontas. And then that looks like you go there. A little bit of Jasmine. There's a little bit of rabbit's foot. What is that? Where Daisy go? There she is. Then that is Jiminy. And that is Belle. And that is Mater. Those are somebody's eyes, but they're creepy. Oh, it's Doug's. Foot. That is Antonio. That is.
There's something really satisfying about doing a puzzle twice.
Is there? You remember when you used to always do them twice?
I remember when it takes me back to the old days.
All right.
I don't miss the old days.
2 more pictures and I'm done. There is Nemo. There's Carl. This is who is that? Oh, it's Woody. There's Bobby. Hercules. Hercules, Hercules. That is him.
Dennis Algazi, welcome in. Good to see you.
That's Edna
Going
Mode.
singing message up.
That's Edna Mode. That is Woody. That appears to be. Who's that?
Yep, we were waiting on you, Dennis. Glad you
Yep.
made it.
So much so that we just tore a puzzle apart.
Yep.
So he still put it back together again.
So I can put it back together again.
Where my okay, Joyce put together, it's not her. Who is this? That's gonna be a really it's not him. Oh, it's a hat. Duh. This is Tinkerbell. This is Tinkerbell's feet. Office and staff. Just keep going with these. I need Peter Pan's hand. Hello, Peter. And then this one, right where you at? There. Boom. Then we're going to put these 2 in, and then we will, or that one in. Take a picture, and we'll finish it up. There. There. There's a shoe. Right there. There's a snowman. There. There's Goofy's hand. The rest of the snowman. Where? Right there. There's one of the Lady Incredibles. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there.
For the second and the last time, I present to you the Polynesian.
Are you done?
Done again for the second time.
Christopher, I am also done. Gotta take a picture real quick.
This puzzle is very loose fitting. I will say that. So much playing.
Let's see here. Uh-oh.
Puzzle is fighting against the glue, Debbie.
Here's there is mine.
Oh, nice.
Chris, we're gonna have a simultaneous gluing, sir.
Oh, sweet.
It's never been done before.
Time to cue the glue intro. Where are you? Here we are.
You all gallivant with your fancy foosball friends at school while I'm sitting here all day with nobody to keep me company except Steve?
So here's something interesting about my glue. Like, I have different bottles for the front and the back of my puzzles. That is an accurate statement, ladies and gentlemen. I have started a movement.
Should we do 2 intros since we're both
I think we
gluing?
got to. We have to really play it twice because we have 2 of us.
That's true. Here we go.
You all gallivant with your fancy foosball friends at school while I'm sitting here all day with nobody to keep me company except Steve?
So here's something interesting about my glue. Like, I have different bottles for the front and the back of my puzzles. Yeah.
Dennis said, I fell into a YouTube verse the other day. Who knew there was such a big puzzle community? Ravensburger is very popular. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. They're my favorite.
Yes, please do, Sparkly Pink. She says, I'm going to send y'all the video of my nephew acting that out.
Yeah, she told me about that. That's awesome. Yes, there is a huge. But I just wish that I had the space to do the big ones. Like,
Yeah.
I could just put up my my puzzle cam or whatever you call it, the build cam,
Yeah.
and just keep it over there without, you know what I mean?
Right.
Work on big ones, get a good sense of accomplishment one day when we actually finish a big one. Right now I don't have space. Woe is me. Man, this thing looks even better under glue. It dulls the, I don't want to say it dulls the foil, but it mutes it a little bit to where you can see the colors pop a lot better. So now the foil sticks out more, and the colors that are not foiled, I guess I should say, stick out more. It just makes it it's like making, when you laminate something, you stick it in the pouch, it's not very clear.
Right.
And then you run it through the laminator and it comes out crystal clear. That's what it's like. Oops. Too close to the edge there. But we're good. Yeah, we didn't lose it.
Steve, you got me into gluing puzzles. I'm not sure you're going to get me into laminating things.
Oh man, I miss my laminator. Once you start it, Chris, you will always go back to laminating everything.
Stone cold. Now I know what you are. Broke my soul when you sat in his car. Yeah, you can keep digging gold, 'cause I know that you need it. Just never mind that you left my heart bleeding. I hope you know that there's no way I'll take you back. You should have loved me better. You should have loved me better than, me better than. You should have loved me better than, me better than. Because the games that you play has left me with a big scar. Now I know what you want. Because the games that you play has left me with a big scar. You better quit calling me your lover.
Man, this thing looks so cool.
Calling me your lover.
Chris, I recommend you get it.
I think I will.
'Cause I don't have the time.
Very, very cool.
Should have known. How could I be so blind? Yeah, you can keep digging gold.
That may be a good one for the marathon stream.
Just never mind that you left my heart.
With this
May
quick
not
as
last-
you put it together.
Maybe not. Yeah, I did it in less than 2 hours, I think. I think it was like, and that was with me stopping and taking pictures and everything else. So I think you won't have any problems putting it together. So cool. The border was the trickiest part.
Right.
Because there's some repetitive looking stuff, but we're now putting the glue into the back glue container. All the excess. All right.
I hope you know that there's no way.
Clean this off, and I am finished.
I put a lot of glue on this puzzle with it being so loose.
I don't blame you. Is that Steve number 1 or Steve number 2?
This is Steve number 1.
Still not sure how I feel about that.
Back glue Steve is pink.
No. Forgot they were color coded. All right, let that sit over there to dry overnight. That was wonderful. It's even more satisfying that I put it together in one night. So
Yep.
it's not gonna sit over there. It's such a good puzzle. I haven't done a puzzle in a while, man. Felt good. I
Doing
got
a lot of painting.
about 1,000. I have been doing a lot of painting and drawing, and I got more puzzles. They're all in there that I got to get done. I got 2 more down here that I picked up at Target because they were buy one get one 50% off.
In the search for fame, I'm sitting here in this empty room. Walls keep tumbling down. 'Cause I
240. Uh-oh.
always feel so lonely when the day is through. I'm in the spotlight, night
Did I change that?
and night. I want somebody
I did. Good.
to hold my hand. 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of heights. I used to spend
Trying to clean the glue off of Steve's face.
I would appreciate that immensely.
I didn't want to leave him with a white beard.
Appreciate that. Again,
A white streaked all over his face.
I think we get the point.
myself to blame. I'm sitting here in this empty room. Walls keep tumbling down. 'Cause I ain't got nobody. So lonely when the day is through.
Okay.
Just about done. Sorry, y'all.
Take your time. What are you complaining about? I just like the fact that we finished our puzzles at the same time. Interesting. Interesting. Oh my goodness.
I'm in the spotlight, not until midnight. I want somebody to hold my hand. 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of
Is this a new song, Chris?
Sorry.
Is this a new song?
No, still part of the same playlist, I think.
No.
Sparkly Pete says, I'm not sure how I like part of my name being associated with back glue.
I decided, Chris, I don't think I'm going to get a haircut for a while.
Really?
I'm going to let it grow, see what happens. It's almost the longest it's ever been. Not quite. That we will see. We'll see what happens.
Let it grow. Let it grow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm going to get fed up with it soon. So.
Let me pull over here. And that is the book club and
Yeah,
full stream done. With bonus gluing.
Yep. I feel that the two intros were appropriate.
I think so. I think it was the only way it could be done.
Yep.
Hope everybody has a good night and a good Wednesday. You've made it halfway through the week, so congratulations.
Yep.
Be sure to check out OES tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. Tina said she wasn't sure if she's going tomorrow, but anyway, check out Joy at 8, and then This and That tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. And we'll see you back here another night. Love you all. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you back soon. Bye. Toodles.